Weather Authority forecast.
No smoke and mirrors behind a controlled burn in Howard County. The volunteer fire department says no need to panic.
Smoke seen in the air around FM 818 in the Elbow community is under control. The department is clearing out 300 acres as part of a training exercise.
Good thing that this is control. I know the wind is not so strong, but the potential is always there.
Oh, it's always there, especially we get these breezes around 10 to 15 miles an hour. But fortunately, with a burn like that, winds aren't nearly as extreme as they have been earlier this week. So the chances of seeing those fires really start to spread is a lot lighter than it was earlier, fortunately. But chances of freeze, well, they're back, and it's going to be a cold night ahead of us. We're going to first talk about the health index. We got moderate chances for tree pollen and weeds, as well. Grasses, fortunately, though, are low, and mold is high, though, so some bad news right there. This is all courtesy of Texan Allergy. You can visit their website, texanallergy.com. Now, we got freezing. Went a little head there. Freezing conditions tonight, and here's what you got to do. When freezing temperatures happen, pets, pipes, and plants, bring your pets inside, cover your pipes, and also cover your plants. Usually you can use newspaper to cover the pipes and put a tarp over your plants. That's usually the best option right there. And you just want to be careful out there because you're going to be seeing more of this tonight. Temperatures down into the possible 20s throughout many areas throughout the Central Basin and throughout the northern Trans-Pecos. 32, the overnight low last night in Big Spring, saw those 20s up in southeastern New Mexico, and even saw those 30s down in Presidio. So when one of the hottest areas in the entire state of Texas is seeing 37 degrees for a low, you know it is cold outside. But right now it's really kind of decent out there. 50 degrees throughout much of the Central Basin, and then seeing more of those 60s down in Presidio and in the Big Bend. But just about everywhere else we're seeing those temperatures down into the 50s. But we aren't really seeing too much activity in terms of cloud coverage. Relatively clear skies throughout the entire Lone Star State. But fortunately, we are seeing some rain out in the Tennessee area where they're having those wildfires right now. We're also seeing some rain kind of spreading throughout the entire southeast, and that's good because they got some very severe drought conditions out there. We don't really have any drought conditions throughout the Permian Basin right now, and we are seeing these relatively clear skies, but we are seeing some pretty decent winds going on out to the west. 26 miles an hour throughout the Guadalupe Mountains, 12-mile-an-hour wind speeds in Carlsbad and Hobbs, and just under 10-mile-an-hour wind speeds throughout much of the Central Basin, seeing those 9-mile-an-hour wind speeds down in Marfa. So a decent breeze going on out there, but nothing like what we saw earlier this week, and seeing those 36-mile-an-hour wind gusts throughout the Guadalupe Mountains. And we had some sporadic moments where we had some really strong gusts earlier throughout overnight and into today. 36 in the Guadalupe Mountains, 20 in Carlsbad, and 16 in Hobbs for the peak gust today. But we are still seeing these very dry conditions out there, not really too much moisture in the air, and it's going to stay this way. But fortunately, we do have a chance of getting some moisture in the air starting on Friday. We got rain chances on the way, and some very strong rain chances that could be popping up later on Saturday. Now, our temperatures for tonight, we're going to be seeing some pretty cold conditions once again out there. Temperatures in the low 30s, possibly even dropping down into the 20s throughout the northern basin. Then tomorrow, going to be slightly warmer out there, back up into the 60s, and seeing those high 50s throughout Hobbs and Lovington, but then 61 in Seminole, Lamesa, Andrews, and then in the Central Basin, another night of possibly seeing these pretty cold conditions out there. Some areas could remain in the 40s, but you want to be on the lookout for some possible freezing conditions, as we said before. But then tomorrow, back up into the 60s once again in the northern Central Basin, and then the Trans-Pecos, some temperatures in the 30s and 40s tonight as well. Sanderson at 44, Dryden at 46, Sheffield at 44 as well, and then back up into the 60s tomorrow. Some high 60s in Dryden, Bakersfield, and Fort Stockton, as well as in Ira Ann. And then in the mountains tonight, expect temperatures to get pretty low out there. 31 the low for Marfa and Valentine, going to stay in the 40s in Presidio and the Big Bend, as well as Marathon. Alpine down into the low 40s, and then going into the mountains tomorrow. High 60s in Presidio and the Big Bend. Marathon 65, Alpine at 66. And looking at our 7-day forecast, we got some slightly warmer conditions for your Thursday, mostly clear skies. Then we got the rain chances making a comeback Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Some very strong chances of rain activity on Saturday. You can see that 80% chance of rain, and then we'll be seeing just clouds throughout Monday and Tuesday, then more clear skies on Wednesday. So we got clear skies tomorrow, one more day of it. Still going to be very cold out there, but we got rain chances starting Friday.
Well, yesterday it was cold and a chance for rain on Saturday. Now it's cold and rain is going to happen.
Yeah, it is a very, very strong chance we're going to be seeing that rain Saturday. So be on the lookout for that.
Let's stay inside.
Yes.
Thanks, Ryan. 'Tis the season for a glass of